I actually realized that what I was doing was making a difference. And it was really cool to have that realization and like actually, as the days went on, get into what I was doing. Because it was long, long days of walking door to door. We went to, how many, what was the most doors we went to?
You and I alone?
Yeah.
300 something.
Yeah, we knocked on 300 something doors in one day. And then went back and made a couple hundred phone calls. And our entire group would make about 10,000? No.
Like phone calls? Yeah,
We, in all, over the 4 days we were doing it, we knocked on about 10,000 doors as our entire group of 50. And we made like 10,000 something calls, which is really crazy. And it actually makes a huge difference in the election, which was really close.
So yeah, we actually, Generation Joshua had teams in different areas of Florida. I think it was like 3 or 4 cities. Rick Scott, the candidate that we were campaigning for, he did get reelected, and the vote difference was 70,000. And Generation Joshua in Florida hit 80,000 contacts. So the numbers there show that we really did make an impact. So probably if it wasn't for Generation Joshua, Rick Scott would not have been reelected. Rick Scott was a Republican candidate. He was conservative. And for those of you who followed the election, you'll know that the Republicans really won big this time around. And that was largely due to people who campaigned. Don't go too far down. You're going to see other pictures of me that aren't involved. No, don't click on that picture. So anyway, Republicans won big this time around, and it was largely in part to people who campaigned for those candidates. And the importance of voting in our country is so overlooked by a large portion of us. And I know most of us here are young, and we don't think it's important, like politics is boring and all that, but it's what kind of shapes our future. And so voting and researching candidates that you should vote for is really, really important. And for those of us in the history class with Mrs. Bruff, we're learning about the course of U.S. history and the turns it's taken and the presidents who have run the country for the period of time that they ran the country. And we see a lot of where the hand of the citizens has taken part in those presidents' terms. And it applies right now more than it ever has, because the morals in America are really low and really anti-Christian, and so it's up to people like us to make a difference and promote those morals again, and elect candidates that will run this country the way it should be run. So Generation Joshua was a great trip, and Eiler and I, and Andrew was there too, I think he said today. Eiler and I had a great time, and we really got to learn how to campaign for people that should be running the country, and it really paid off in the end.
So one thing I'd just like to add is, when you guys are young,
Can you guys explain what Generation Joshua is for people who don't know what it is?
Okay, so it's a group it's a group that's put together that they train, it's mainly like about government. So they have like a government camp that they send kids to. They do a lot of campaigns throughout the different elections that go on. They send out groups. I don't know a ton about what else they do, but I do know that they have a huge impact and an influence on our elections and the campaign and everything for that. So it's a really great program to be a part of. We really enjoyed it, and yeah. But what I'd like to add to the younger kids is that when I was young, I took like a little history course, and I didn't really pay much attention to it because I thought it was boring. If you actually pay attention to stuff and like look at the Constitution, which I'm learning now, it's really interesting, and you can learn a lot of cool things that aren't boring. So pay attention to your classes. Yeah.
I think Ms. Bender?
Generation Joshua actually has camps and like chapters. So in every city, there's a group of people who actually still get together midterm or monthly to about politics and government.
They actually have another campaign thing that's coming up that I think you can sign up for.
Is it Christian?
Yes.
Yes.
It's through HSLDA. I don't know if you guys know what that is.
HSLDA, okay.
So they, and as I understand it, they look across the nation to find the really tight races and try to go there and make a difference in the ones that they think would be.
That's why they didn't do anything in California.
Yeah, not much of a chance.
There's a video that they filmed while we were there. Do you want us to play it? Okay. So yeah, while we were there, there was a camera guy, creepy guy following us around, filming us. And there's a video.